Barbie Briggs. Is that his wife's social media? Barbie Bricks, I think, is Isaiah Stewart's wife's social media handle.
Okay.
She wrote a message talking about the end of an era.
Sure.
And how she's so proud of Isaiah and how he brought a heartbeat back to a dying Pistons brand.
Okay.
And you helped rebuild the culture. You wore the identity, or you were the identity. You are one of one. The city of Detroit is already feeling your absence. Are you feeling his absence?
Not already? One bit, actually. No, not one bit. I'm feeling draft picks and 15 mil cap space open. That's what I'm feeling.
That's what you're feeling.
I'm not feeling any vacancy. No.
I don't know how I feel. Like when the news originally happened, my thoughts were like immediately like, all right, cool. We're doing something exciting. We're getting dirty. We're getting gritty. We're doing things nobody likes. That was my first initial thought. I was like, yes, he is just ripping the hearts out of some Pistons fans just to make this team better. And we haven't. My other thought was something else is happening. Like, you're going to rip my heart out if you just trade Isaiah Stewart for 3 second-round picks. I mean, I get it. You cleared a ton of space, but if you're not going to use the space, then my heart got ripped out.
Yeah, I think we all know there's going to be a move, and unfortunately, with this fan base, it's probably not going to be one that everyone loves.
Well, no, of course not.
But they cleared the space for it, so maybe we'll make a splash. Like, Detroit is so. All GMs in Detroit are so pushy towards the narrative, like, and they stand on it of building all these pieces with young pieces. Like, that's all they want to do is always build young pieces. The Lions do it. The Red Wings are trying to do it. And unfortunately, Larkin hates being there now. Granted, we don't know how the Larkin-Yzerman thing's even going. The Tigers are trying to do it and not making splashes. Like last year, before the trade deadline, they had to make a move to get a bat to go into the postseason. They had to. They didn't do it. And we lost because we couldn't score runs. And the Pistons now, we're trying to continue building with young players and wait for these guys to actually turn into something. Like Langdon has said it multiple times, and he's kind of admitted the core three that he's going to keep. And Lance, you know what? If you read between the lines with Trajan Langdon, he's doing what he said he was going to do. So far, we have Cade, we have Ausar, we have Duran, and we moved on with Isaiah Stewart. He's kind of hinting slowly but surely how we're going to go ahead and do this offseason. So, but clearing the space is good.
Well, he also said that they weren't going to make any major moves. Like they might hold off of making a major move. At least that's what I thought he said. And now it seems like they're in play for a major move. I mean, the reports are Kawhi Leonard.
And he still has legal action towards him, doesn't he? He's not even cleared.
No, yeah, they're waiting. Apparently the report is they're going to aggressively pursue Kawhi Leonard after the investigation, after all the dust settles. That's what Brian Windhorst is reporting, that the Pistons are interested in Kawhi Leonard, but they're also saying that Kawhi is not interested in re-signing with Detroit or Miami. So the question is, if the big splash is Kawhi Leonard, are you okay with a 1-year rental?
I don't think
you can't trade Ausar, Jalen Duren, or Cade Cunningham.
I mean, for a 1-year rental, I guess I'm okay with it, but you already said it. Like, does he want to actually come and play in Detroit? That's my problem.
For 1 year, maybe.
For 1 year, you want to come and win a chip and maybe treat it like he did Toronto and just show everybody that he's a legend and he can just go win an NBA championship with a team. I don't even care if he does that. I don't know one Pistons fan that would be upset that we just go all in on a guy like Kawhi Leonard and he comes and wins a chip. But if we would go out and say we got a LeBron James, like have you noticed that the toss up of fans, like say we went all in and splashed with LeBron James, there's Pistons fans that probably still wouldn't even want us to win a championship just because LeBron James is on the team. Have you seen that?
There are comments already where Pistons fans are like, it looked disgusting. Wouldn't make any sense to see him in a pit. Like just shit like that. Like, Just like it doesn't make any sense for him to be in a Pistons uniform. Like it wouldn't look, dude. Who cares how it looks? If he helps and you can win and go in a deep playoff run or even contend for 1 year, I say take it. Now my thoughts are, just because you bring in Kawhi Leonard, it does not make the Pistons an automatic contender. Not with this roster. There's too many question marks for me personally to be like, yeah, we're going to add Kawhi Leonard. We're going to keep most of the team, but we're going to add Kawhi Leonard, and suddenly we're going to compete for championships. No, dude, there's not a single player alive that will make you an instant contender like that. Like, it worked in Toronto. It's a great story. It's a fairy tale. But the Raptors were put together better. That roster was better than the Pistons roster right now. They were one piece away from winning a championship. The Pistons are Kawhi Leonard and a few more names away from really competing with the championship. So yeah, I would be out on Kawhi Leonard for 1 year, just because I don't think him being here for a year means a championship with this roster.
I might have to disagree with you, man. I think a healthy Kawhi could really put this team over the top, dude. If you can keep the Duran, the Asar, the Cade, I think that he could make the difference, because I think statistically, Kawhi Leonard just came off one of his best seasons of his career last year. So if you can bring this guy in and he gives us 60 games regular season and plays in the playoffs, Lance, I'm going to have to say that I think that he could be a reason they could win a championship. Now, does he want to come and do it here? That's the question. Does he want to come play for JB Bickerstaff? I mean, it's been put on the internet saying that he doesn't want to go to Detroit. He's an LA guy. I get it. But if you want to go and you want to win a chip, or do you want to cash your check and stay in LA, you got to do what you got to do. But I think you add a piece like Kawhi Leonard, it brings your scoring. Dude, wing defenders of Kawhi Leonard and Asar Thompson.
Okay,
you can't score on these guys.
I mean, yeah, you just got to beat them, and then you just got to hope that Jalen Duren or Paul Reed blocks a shot. Yeah, you are right. They're very good. They're very great perimeter defenders. They'd be locking people up left and right. Okay, let's say they trade for Kawhi Leonard, but they don't win a championship, but they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, go 7 games with Boston or New York. Is that a win for you? Are you happy with that season?
No, it is not.
So you're disappointed.
Yes.
If it's not a championship or bust for you.
Not completely championship or bust, Lance. You make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and say they were to lose to Miami or the Knicks or Boston, I think it's a bust. But if you were to make it to the NBA Finals with a Kawhi Leonard and say you may lose in 6, I think that's a win. I think that's a win, because then you gain a lot of playoff experience with Cade, a very young Cade, of going to an NBA Finals. I think there's a lot to learn there. So I don't think it would be much of a bust unless they couldn't get past the Eastern Conference Finals. And why wouldn't you want to come to the Eastern Conference? Why?
I ask myself that all the time. Like, why would you not want to come to the Eastern Conference where it's still opened up? I mean, like, Boston's going to get healthy. They're a great team. New York is coming off the championship run. They're bringing pretty much everybody back. Yeah, but still, at the end of the day, like, I'm not the gauntlet that is the Western Conference is just, dude, it's built for different people. It's crazy. My thing with Kawhi is, if you bring him in, he's here for 1 year, you don't win a championship, and then he decides to bolt, retires, goes back to LA, goes back to San Antonio, Toronto, whatever. It's a massive hole you have to fill. Like, if it took Kawhi to get to the NBA Finals, but you don't win it, and then you lose him, how do you replace him? That's the question I don't want to have to ask and answer next offseason. So I would be out on Kawhi Leonard. If I could get 2 or 3 years from him, I'd be more inclined to bring him in. I just don't see it happening. I just think I'm kind of leaning towards he's done in LA, just because all the stuff that's going on. They didn't win. It's kind of a black mark on his career a little bit. You force your way to LA, you force them to make this massive trade, and you get nothing from it. So I think he's done in LA. I think he either goes to San Antonio or Toronto. That's what I want. I don't think he comes to Detroit or Miami. And if he does to either of those teams, he's not happy about it. I think it would just be a waste, especially depends on what you have to give up. I mean, I guess for 1 year, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to talk myself into it.
Lance, just real quick. No, don't. You don't have to talk yourself into it. That's why I'm here. So
Yeah.
if we could get within a couple numbers of what he put in 65 games, Lance, 32 minutes a game, 28 points per game, 50% from the field, 39% from three, 90% free throw shooter, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. You're telling me you don't add just him to this team, and we keep everybody we got. You can't tell. You're telling me we can't. I think we could skip through the Eastern Conference with these numbers alongside Cade Cunningham and a Jalen Duren regular season. You're skipping through it. You can waltz through it. Lance, dance with me. Look at this.
Yeah, no, like I said, I can talk myself
if you can put this guy on this team and you get similar numbers from last year, it's a wash. It's a wash, but hypothetically, we're not going to get that. It's not going to happen. We're not going to keep everybody.
I know, but I'm just in the school of thought that it's not enough to win a championship. That's all I care about. Like I'm telling you right now, like
isn't that the goal? It's always the goal.
But the scenario we came up with is if you trade for Kawhi and you lose in the NBA Finals, you say it's still a great season. I say if you bring Kawhi in, it's either championship or bust, and it's a disappointment if you lose and you don't get the championship. It's a disappointment, and then you're saying goodbye to him.
I don't think they lose it. I don't think they'd lose it. I think the team would be so good adding a hungry Kawhi to win championships. But nowadays, it's really, do these players want to be where they're at? Do they want, like Giannis, I want out of Milwaukee and the haul for Giannis to go to Miami was insane. And I mean, maybe he plays better because now he's on a team that he wants to be a part of. Kawhi might not want to go to Detroit. Why would you not? I get it's Detroit, but the team, if you're going to go and you're an NBA player and you want to be successful, you go to a team that's on the rise. So I don't know. I think if we were to get him and he puts up numbers like this with the rest of the squad that we had, that vacant hole of points per game and the percentages, and not only that, just the defense itself, playing the teams in the Eastern Conference. I really think teams like Boston or the Knicks, it's a matchup nightmare to play a team like Detroit. And you just need to get Cade where Cade has been in the playoffs, and I think it's over. It's over.
So your foot is planted. Kawhi Leonard makes you championship team. My foot is planted. My flag. Your flag is planted that Kawhi wins a championship on this team. My flag is planted that they don't win a championship, and it'd be disappointing. And that is why I'm out on Kawhi Leonard. But it's cool. I mean, I'm glad that we took different sides when it came to Kawhi Leonard. Like, I love him as a player. I think he's fantastic. It's just I don't think this team is ready for a 1-year rental of Kawhi's caliber to win a championship. Now, if they were, I'm all for it, but they're not.
But you think we're that far still?
Yeah, I think there needs to be more shooting. I think there needs to be I just think there needs to be more shooting and more creation. Those are the two biggest things for me. We got it in the draft, hopefully, fingers crossed, with Ebuka, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, I just think that they're a few pieces away. I think Kawhi helps, and it definitely puts them in the right direction. And I can see them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals with Kawhi. But I don't think they have enough to actually win a championship. And that's why I'd be out on bringing in Kawhi. By the way, free agency opens, I think, on Tuesday. So this is coming out on Friday. So Saturday. So we have like 5 days. I'm just doing the math quickly. So until free agency begins, which is nice. We do have some free agency news. It's about Austin Reaves. And I just wanted to talk about this briefly because, like, I don't know if I'm buying it or not. I don't know if this actually happened. But supposedly the Detroit Pistons aggressively pursued Austin Reaves, and this aggressiveness forced the Lakers to offer Austin Reaves $46 million a year versus the $30 million they originally wanted to ask him and offer him. And I don't know. I'm not really buying it. I don't really think Detroit they were trying to lowball Austin Reaves. There's no way he signed for $30 million. They were trying to lowball him. I don't think Detroit coming in and aggressively pursuing him was the reason Lakers were like, fuck, we better offer him $46 million. I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all.
I don't know how real any of that is, so I have no comment. I don't think they were aggressively pursuing him enough. And plus he already stated he doesn't want to play in Detroit. It's all these people that we want to bring into Detroit, and then they go on social media and say that I would never go there. So I'm not sure. I don't think that with LeBron getting to probably his farewell year, it has to be this year. It has to be for a farewell season. I think that they have to pay Austin Reaves so they can have Austin and Luka on that roster for when LeBron is gone.
I mean, it makes sense with Austin and Luka. They could potentially be pretty great in the backcourt for the Lakers for a few more seasons. I don't know. I'm glad that trade. See, but this is the big splash stuff I'm talking about. Like, would this not be a big splash? Like, why was he lying in the press conference to us? Like, I'm pretty sure he said no big moves. This would be a big move if you were actually to pursue Austin Reaves. I don't know. I would have liked to see him in a red, white, and blue jersey, though. Not gonna lie. I'm a fan of Austin Reaves. I think he'd be great in Detroit. I know he's like Kawhi. He doesn't want to be here. Dude loves playing golf in LA. You get to play all year round. You don't get to do that in Michigan. I get it. He doesn't want to do indoor golf or anything. But yeah, I'm just not buying the Pistons being aggressive after him. I think it's a lot of smokescreen. And I think the Lakers were prepared to offer him significantly more than $30 million a year.
Yeah, he wasn't going to leave LA.
No, I don't think he was.
It wasn't going to leave LA. Now, it's cool to think that we wanted to put money on him to bring him into Detroit, but he was going nowhere. Everyone that had common sense understood that he's going to stay as a Laker. He's not going to go anywhere else, and he's going to get the money there. So he made it known. He's not ever going to be a Detroit guy, and he got the contract that he wanted, whether it was a bait and switch, whatever you want to call it, to get more money that another team's pursuing. So you got to pay a player more so he doesn't go to the other team. Whatever it is, or whatever you want it to be. I knew that from the get-go. We already had the conversation. I wasn't a fan of bringing in Reaves, but I'm also, as much as I'm not a fan of doing something like that for a player that I may not like, I do still think we need to make some type of move. So I'm all for, even if we were to hypothetically land Austin Reaves, I wouldn't have bought a jersey, but damn it, I would have cheered for him. Yeah. He's on my team. He's on my team now, so I'm going to be a Reaves fan. So that's just kind of how sports work, man. And that's just kind of what it is. You hate somebody so much, and I'm going to just go right back to the LeBron thing. You hate the guy so much, but say he comes to your team, you're going to really stop watching him?
No.
Really? No, you're not.
I don't buy that from fans at all.
I should get a shirt. I am a LeBron hater. 100% LeBron hater. But you know what? Him and Bronny James come to the Pistons. Hey, man, I'm watching every game. And I'm cheering for the guy because I want to win a chip. That's why we play the game.
So there's probably no athlete where you're like upset that they're coming to your favorite team, right?
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Like, you can hate them when they're on any other team. You can just be like, dude, I can't stand this guy. I hate the way he plays. You could be even be messaging him after games, just talking crap. Like, that very well could be in your wheelhouse. But if they come to a Detroit team, you're all
LeBron fan, baby. I might buy a jersey. Okay. I might buy a jersey just to prove that, you know what? I don't hate you because you're here to help us. I'll do it. I don't even care. Yeah, it's just like, because Lance, there are people, and you're more of the Reddit surface than I am, but there's people out there that if we were to get LeBron James, that they would rather not win a championship.
Oh, I know people personally off of the internet that have already told me, and it's funny that you bring up LeBron, but he is polarizing. But I do have clients, I do have friends that have said they will boycott and not watch the Pistons if they were to bring in LeBron James. You could bring in anybody else and they would be okay with it. But if you bring in LeBron James, they will burn their Chauncey Billups Pistons jerseys. It's unbelievable the hate that man gets from fans. Like it's crazy to me. Like I don't get it myself. There's not really many athletes that I dislike. I mean, I might be able to count on my hand how many athletes I dislike. I'm not a hater. I am an appreciator of greatness is what I am. And I have appreciated LeBron's career. But you are right. It does blow my mind that there are fans that are like that. Like how we were talking about earlier. There are Pistons fans that say if it would be wrong to see LeBron James in a Pistons jersey and they wouldn't like it and they wouldn't root for it. So there are people out there that do exist. I'm glad we're not either of them.
And maybe it's because he wore a Cavs jersey for so long. Maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because they swept our ass. You know, maybe that's why we don't like him.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's all other stuff that people hate LeBron James for, dude. Because you can't tell me that you dislike him for actual basketball. There's no reason. You watch the game of basketball and like, oh, LeBron James, I hate him because of basketball. There's no reason. You hate him for not saying you personally. I'm just saying other people out there.
I know you're not attacking me, but do you want to do honesty? I would say honesty hour, but honesty minute with me. You want to know why I hate LeBron James?
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate LeBron James because he was part of the reason that the super teams started to exist. That is part of the reason that I do not like LeBron James. Do I think that he's in a GOAT conversation? Of course he is. But he's not my GOAT. Now, when it comes to statistics and everything that he's accomplished, the fact that he's played to the age that he is and he is still a fucking unit it is remarkable that he is what he is. But the Miami jump, the Cleveland jump, the Laker jump, like the ring chasing thing, I get it. We talked that championships are a part of it, and the reason you play every sport is because you want to be the best. You want to accomplish the highest goal. I totally get it. And that's part of the reason why Kevin Durant fell off my list is because of his jumping. I loved Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was my favorite player with Oklahoma City. The James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant days were one of my favorites to watch basketball. And when he jumped and he did the OKC thing, which they were just so fucking dominant, and just knocking people out, and then jumped again, and then jumped again. It's just to the part where it's not that it ruins the game. It's just really shitty. Like, it's rare to see a guy stay with a team his whole career and win championships and then finish it with that one team. So that's part of my LeBron hate.
Honestly, I'm okay with a guy if they get close to winning a championship, but they don't, but they're here for like 18 years with one team. I probably love them more than the guy that delivered the championship. To be honest, if you're going to wear my favorite team's jersey for the entirety of your career through all the ups and downs, I have more of a love for you than the guy that actually delivered the championship. I mean, I just do. Yeah, I think we can both agree LeBron's probably the greatest player we've watched from beginning to end, right?
Right, yeah, because I wasn't able to watch the Jordan years in the 90s,
yeah.
So yeah, it's LeBron.
I mean, I was 8 years old when Jordan retired the second time. I do remember watching that NBA Finals because my mom was like, look, he's the greatest player ever. I'm going to let you guys stay up. Even though we were going to I was going into third grade. I was going into second grade. And she was just like, you guys can stay up. I remember it very clear, staying up and watching every single game with my mom in my parents' bedrooms. I don't even know where my dad was. I have no idea. But he was never sitting there next to us watching these games. We were just on the edge of his bed. And I remember as a kid, it seemed like those games were over in a flash when I was a kid. I think it's because I was always throwing my basketball pillows around and pretending like I was playing and probably not really watching the games. But I didn't watch. Basically, what I'm getting at is even though I've watched that, I still don't consider Jordan the greatest player that I've witnessed because I did not get to watch enough of his career. He is my GOAT. He is if I'm in a fantasy draft and all the players are available, he's who I'm taking with the number 1 overall pick. But I'm not disappointed if I'm drafting second and get LeBron James because he is the greatest player I've watched from beginning to end. Kevin Durant, like, here's the thing too, I don't even blame him for leaving Oklahoma City, because I remember he did an interview. Maybe I'm making this up in my head too, but he said he wanted to grow his game. He just wanted to be a better basketball player. And I encourage you to go back and watch him on Golden State. And he was a more complete player in Golden State, because in Oklahoma City, he was just a scorer. He was just an isolation scorer. He would spot up. He'd wait for Russ to do things. He was a very 1-2 dimensional player at the time. He was still great. It's just, he even said himself, I was only playing one way. So I go to Oklahoma City. He's a better defender. He's a better playmaker. He's just a better all-around player. So I don't really blame him for leaving I mean, I guess if I'm in his position, I just want to be the greatest that I can be as well. And if I have to move or change teams, then that's just a part of the game. I just don't blame him as much as some other people do for that.
Yeah, and I want to just revert because I want to ask you something. So,
yeah,
like the LeBron James coming to Detroit, I think a lot of the reason too is why people are so upset about it is because they're afraid that, say LeBron comes and helps Cade win a championship, they're gonna make it LeBron's championship and not Cade's championship. I think that's why a lot of people are so upset about it, because that man gets so much of the spotlight, but it's so well deserved. He gets what he gets, and you have to understand that. But so many fans are just in the opinion of, he comes, they win a championship, and it's LeBron's last year, and he won a ring on his way out. They're never going to look at it as, well, it's Cade's ring too. Like, they're afraid that he's going to take over this team. He's going to be 42 years old. He's not taking over anything. He's just going to be an asset that's going to help us get over the hump. But
that makes sense what you're saying. I get what
but
you're
that's
saying.
But I think that's why people are so hesitant towards this, because we finally got a guy that is the guy, and we want other people to understand, like, because Cade had an incredible year. He was a first team All-NBA, but not a lot of people were talking about him. You know, and that was the hardest thing as a Pistons fan. And I think so many people are afraid you bring LeBron James in and we're successful. Cade could have better numbers than LeBron, but LeBron's going to get all the media. So people are hesitant. Yes.
No, I get that. Yeah, when you bring LeBron in, he's pretty much coming in and taking over. I do think he's at this stage of his career, I think he's willing to take a back seat, but there's going to be moments on whatever team he's on where he is going to take over, where he's just going to say, dude, I can win this game. I've been here hundreds of times. I can go and win this game, even at 42 years old. I can still go out and do this. But yeah, you make a good point. There are some fans that would point to it and be like, dude, it's not Cade's championship. It's LeBron's championship. And yeah, if you don't want LeBron to come in because you don't want him getting credit for the NBA championship, that is incredibly small of you. But yeah, I get it, dude. You get it. You can have whatever reason you want for not winning a championship, dude. That's totally fine, I guess. But yeah, not wanting LeBron for him to get the credit, that's crazy.
Dude, I just want a fucking ring, Lance. Like, that's all I want. I don't care if it's Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Larry Bird. I don't care, dude. I want to win a championship, man.
I do too.
That's what we got to do.
I know we began talking about Isaiah Stewart, but we should circle back to this. So Isaiah Stewart was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 second-round picks. We did talk about already how that's how we got into it. We talked about how they cleared $15 million from the cap space, and we talked about Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so I read this stat that I'm going to use Norman Powell as the example because this was the example that was given to me. I might actually have this pulled up. But anyways, it was something like, if now the Pistons could offer Norman Powell $24 million a year just because they cleared another $15 million from Isaiah Stewart. I already kind of know your thoughts on Norman Powell, but let's just let everybody else hear your thoughts on why you don't want Norman Powell in Detroit.
I mean, he did have a great season last year. Like he did. He was an all-star and he played well. I'm just not sure how well he actually fits with everything that we're doing. And it's another one of those players to me that it's the Detroit way, Lance. It's like you want to make a move and they do go make a move, but it's not the big name hitter. It's not. And it's just another guy that we're hoping he's going to keep producing the way that he's producing. But for me, with Norman Powell, I'm just scared that he's not going to fit like our style of basketball. I think the only reason that I am somewhat okay personally with bringing him in now is because I do have somewhat hope in Okorie that he's going to be a good ball handler for us. And then the improvement of Dennis Jenkins is going to get a little bit better. So, like with Norman Powell, I got to look up all of his stats because I'm pretty sure that his catch and shoot percentage for three is at a very high success rate. So getting him the ball and letting him just catch and shoot with guys that can distribute to him and him being a floor spacer, I think it would work well. But it just makes me nervous that he's not going to be everything. Like every dollar that we spend towards him is going to give us what we want out of him.
I mean, I'm a little nervous just because it's very rare for a guy to get better like this late in his career. Like he's always been a pretty good scorer. Like, you know, from his last time and from his last full season in Toronto, where he averaged 16 to 19 a game with Portland, to 17 a game with his first season with LA, to 22 a game with his final season in LA. It's just rare for a guy to get better as his career goes along. I mean, this is kind of like the Kyle Lowry syndrome a little bit. So, like, even though I'm all for them bringing in Norman Powell, just because I feel like the Pistons need just at least one more guy that can fill it up, and that's what this guy gets. He's an isolation player. He's a spot-up scorer. That's all he does. He doesn't play make. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't play defense. He is a scorer. That's what he is. 38% from the free throw line. I mean, the three-point line with 7 attempts, gets to the free throw line 6 times a game and hits 83% of them, shoots 47% from the field on 15 shots. Like, he's a very good scorer and he's efficient. That's just what you're getting. Like, if you're telling me this team just needs offense and Tyler Hero's not available, Trey Murphy's not available, Norman Powell, who is a free agent, might be your best get. He might be your big fish for the offseason.
Yeah, now bringing him in and being able to retain everybody that we have, I could see it possibly being a good thing. But like I said, Lance, we're just begging for fucking something.
Yeah.
We just want something. We want Langdon to do something. And the whole thing with dumping Stewart was the biggest of, all right, so what is it now? Like, where are we going? We had the phone conversation. Okay, so we did this. What's going to happen? And then you have all these smart ESPN analysts saying that Detroit's going to be the talk of the off season this year. It's like, okay, that's great, but let's see it happen. Like, let's have it come to fruition because we're I think the last big guy that we got was what? Blake Griffin?
Yeah, he was the last big name.
The best big name to bring to Detroit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously Detroit's not even known for doing that. The last time they brought in a big name was Blake Griffin, but the time before that it was Rasheed Wallace, and they obviously won a championship with that. They just don't make huge moves where they bring in big names like that. They usually bring in guys that are in the later stages of their career, like Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, where they were virtually just shells of their former selves. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of iffy if this is the biggest move, like trading Isaiah Stewart to clear cap space to bring in Norman Powell. Like, will that be enough juice for the Detroit Pistons and for other fans to, I guess, miss Isaiah Stewart less? Like, I mean, if you're bringing in Tyler Hero, probably Pistons fans forget about Isaiah Stewart pretty quickly. If you bring in Trey Murphy, they probably forget. Now, those two players, if you bring them in, they are going to be under a microscope the entire time because fans won't entirely forget about Isaiah Stewart and they'll remember this move. But if you bring in Norman Powell, people are going to question it. They're going to question it. I know a lot of fans are for it, but there are a lot of fans that are like, is this it? Does he really help? He's going to be 34. He's undersized. He's not a playmaker. Does the offense still run smoothly when Cade's not on the floor? dude, there's no perfect player. I don't know how to answer all those questions that I've seen when it comes to Norman Powell. But like, if you're getting a 22-point score that's shooting 47% from the field, 38% from the three-point line, and 83% from the free throw line, you're getting an efficient player, and I wouldn't complain too much about it.
We're just gonna, we have to have a little bit of faith, Lance, with Trajan and JB and everybody that is in that office. And the only and why I'm gonna say that, Lance, is because 2022 we won 17 games.
Yeah.
We won 14 games. We won 44 games, and then we won 60. We are on an upward trend with the guys that are in charge right now, and you have to let them make the decision. It was the same type of shit with the Lions, with Brad Holmes, with that crazy draft that he had. That was Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. You're bringing in all these guys. We got to have a little bit of faith. And also, with the draft, because I know we're going to talk about Okorie, the fact that they did trade up to the 17 spot, that does give me a little bit of flashback of when the Lions traded up and did draft Jahmyr Gibbs. It's maybe that them drafting or trading up to the 17th pick instead of drafting at 21, that Langdon, they wanted this guy. It wasn't just a fall to 21, best player available. It was none of that. It was they were worried that he was going to go, so they traded up to get the 17th pick to draft this kid. So I'm going to have a little hope. I'm going to have a little bit of trust in these guys to make the right decision, because from going from 17 wins to 14 to 44 to 60, let them do their thing. Yeah. Let them figure it out, because right now, in the last 2 years or 3 years, you can't tell me that you can't trust these guys to make a decision, because they've been doing a great job so far.
All right, let's talk about Ebuka. I mean, people have already heard my thoughts. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more, but you're right. They did go up from 21 to 17. I think there might have been real fear from the Pistons that too many guards were being moved off the board. I don't know if Ebuka was like technically their number one guy at 21. Maybe he was. Maybe they thought. Maybe they weren't. Maybe Trajan Langdon wasn't really thinking about moving up and trading 3 seconds to move up from 21 to 17. But the way the draft was going, maybe he thought, all right, in order to get Ebuka, I do have to move up. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if the trade was originally in the cards. Now that I'm thinking about it, Ebuka probably was their number one target, because you're not moving up. Like if Christian Anderson was there, you're asking asking them to draft him at 17. I don't think I've seen someone, they were asking, like, do you think Ebuka would have been there at 21? No, I don't think Ebuka would have been there at 21. I think he's one of the best players after the lottery that could have been drafted. And my thoughts have changed now that he's been a Piston, but that's what I truly believe. But I could rant and talk about him a lot. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you like or what do you dislike about Ebuka or Okorie?
So, first off, it was great to see him at the Tigers game.
Yeah, the pitch was crazy already.
They did the first pitch, and he dunked on pause. So that's awesome. People might think it's cheesy, but Detroit does their best to kind of welcome these young kids in to their fan bases, because all Detroit teams are really, really close. They all go to each other's games, and they support each other as much as they can. Which, I mean, you saw Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff when the Pistons were playing in the playoffs. So it was really cool that they did something for him. But when it comes to him, he was the leading points getter in the ACC.
Yep.
As a freshman, true freshman.
Yep.
Stanford. I mean, Stanford basketball. He went to a place that he could be the guy. His usage was, I think, well over 30%. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Was it under 30? 31%, which is for college basketball team, that's really high. But leading scorer in the ACC, the fact that he only has out of 31 games that he played, he only averaged 2 turnovers a game. That's really important to me.
That's really good. Yeah.
So you're getting a kid that, and when he was playing at Stanford, he was 18 years old. So getting a guy that scores the way he can score, he can get his own shot, he can get to the rim. which is good for Jalen Duren, which is good for all of our shooters. The turnovers is incredible at only 18 years old, but the fact that he is 18 is really important to me. So you're getting a guy, and a lot of people are fearing that you're just getting a guy that is going to go to the G League for 2 years, and then we're not going to see him. And I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think you give this kid a couple games in spring ball this year, and he's going to show why he is who he is, and he can shoot the ball well. I mean, he averaged at Stanford about 6 threes a game, was 2 for 6 roughly percentage wise, which is really good. Gets to the line 7 times a game, which is pretty impressive too for a young kid, and then makes him at an 83% clip. So also, I mean, averages a steal and a half a game, which is good. Gets him passing lanes. Maybe he fits real well here. His interview, when they talked to him about him, and he basically said how he's willing to do anything that they need him to do. He wants to come and he wants to win. He wants to be a part of something successful. He already talked about doing everything he can to put Cade in better situations, whether he's the one bringing the ball up the floor to relieve tensions from Cade, or Cade goes out of the game and he comes in and he's got to be the spark, kind of like Dennis was for us. I think you bring in this kid. Yeah, he's undersized. That's the biggest thing that everyone's talking about is he's 6'1". So, I mean, getting to the hole is going to be a little harder for him in the NBA because you're going to have a lot of more contest shots going to the hole. But I mean, from his creation, the creation he can make, and his highlights, and what I saw from him at Stanford, I'm excited. We can find something in a kid like this.
Okay, are you concerned at all with him being able to play off the ball with Cade his first year, just his first year? Rookie year coming in, because I think they'll give him minutes. I think you drafted him to give him 16 to 20 minutes a night. I don't think he starts many games. I personally don't think we'll see Cade and him on the floor a ton together, just because he's not a very good off the ball player. I understand he had to do a lot at Stanford and everything, but like, okay, so 60% of his threes, just for real quick, they were unassisted. 60% of them were unassisted. So limited data is available for him to be off the ball. But what I'm finding right now, 33% is a spot up shooter, meaning catch and shoot. His numbers aren't great. Like, they're just 33%. I mean, it's not terrible. We're not entering a Sar Thompson territory, but I need that to be higher if you're going to play off the ball from Cade. So my question is, rookie year Ebuka, we're not looking at expectations, but from what you have seen, do you think he can play off of Cade rookie year?
I think rookie year, you're going to see a lot of him opposite of Cade's minutes. I think that's going to be a lot of his minutes, and it's going to be a huge experience for him to learn like how to adapt because he is so young. And I mean, growing up, probably in high school, I don't know what his high school stats, but I mean, looking at what he did at Stanford, you probably can already tell that this kid just was the guy that had to get a bucket, and he couldn't really rely on someone else to score. So I think that's why his game is like it is. But I think we have to see how well he adapts, because I think we saw that from Dennis a little bit more, because Dennis liked to get his own shot, but then Cade, as he kind of learned how to play with Cade, he wasn't that aggressive when it came to isolating. He let Cade kind of do his own thing and became somewhat of a decent spot-up shooter for him. So I don't know how the minutes are going to be kind of adjusted accordingly, because you're bringing this guy in that you want to do all these comps to, and I can see him being kind of like Dennis Jenkins. And it makes me nervous that we kind of now have a really, really deep backcourt with Dennis, Sasser, Cade, and now this kid. So I think at the end of the day, I want to see how fast he learns the NBA speed, and then go from there. So it's really hard to dictate what he's gonna be, because he's only played 1 year of college ball. So I have no expectations for him. I want him to get minutes. I want them to play the guy they drafted. I want him to go and get minutes and see what we have with him. But I have honestly no answer. I don't know how he's going to be put into this scenario.
I don't think it's such a logjam in the backcourt. I think Ebuka, Dennis Jenkins, and Marcus Sasser all offer different things in the backcourt with Cade Cunningham. Like, I think Marcus Sasser's probably I always thought he was a better off the ball player. I think he's probably the best at playing off the ball when it comes to between Dennis Jenkins and Ebuka, between the three of them. I think he's best at off the ball. I think he's the best shooter of the three, too. I think his defense has been just all right in the NBA. I know he was kind of labeled as like a 3-and-D guard where he could be your point of attack defender. I don't know. I guess I'm bringing up Marcus Sasser right now is because I don't see the comparisons between him and Ebuka outside of like body type. I don't think they're similar players at all. Dennis Jenkins, in my opinion, gives you the best balance between playing on and off the ball. I think he can do both pretty well. That's why if they stand pat and they don't make a move like bringing Norman Powell in or something, I think there's a real world where Dennis Jenkins is actually the starter alongside Cade Cunningham because of his ability to play off and on the ball. That's just my opinion. Ebuka, I don't think he can play off the ball with Cade right now. Do I think he can run the floor alongside Cade Cunningham and play in transition? Yeah, sure, dude, totally. I think they could do that. But in being a threat off the ball, I just don't think he really knows how to play off the ball yet. So I think this year, you're not going to see a whole lot of minutes of them on the floor together. You're going to see a lot of minutes with Ebuka coming in. And then this is how I'm envisioning it. If everything works out, Ebuka gets to come in and he replaces Cade. And he basically runs the offense. When he's out on the floor, offense runs through him, and I'm just asking him to get buckets. That's my perfect scenario for Ebuka. And I think that's a role that he could play in, is being an off the bench sixth man type of role. I think he can do that. I think that's what he's capable of doing. I think it's going to be 2 years before you see him get consistent minutes sharing the backcourt with Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I can't really give much of a projection because I really don't know. 1 year of basketball in college in the ACC is really hard for me to tell, especially because how he played at Stanford is probably not what we're going to completely ask for him to do as a Detroit Piston, because we have the guy that is kind of how he was at Stanford. We have that guy. So I'm definitely curious how it's going to work. I do want to see him get the minutes. I think with his play style and kind of with Dennis Jenkins, I think it's nice to have both of them because then you kind of can ride a hot and cold shooter. And I think that's something that JB Bickerstaff could definitely take advantage of because, I mean, there's nights that Dennis might not be hitting, but Ebuka is. And you just have him run it, you know? So I would love to give some type of projection, but we won't know really how it's going to impact anything until maybe Summer League when we get to see him play with a bunch of other NBA players.
I was just about to say that after Summer League, we could probably give more accurate projections. And I'll just make this very clear. I'm only going off of the highlights that I've watched. Like, I've only watched highlight packages. I have not watched any Stanford basketball games. I don't even know where I would go. Maybe there's a full game on YouTube. I should look because I do love basketball, and I don't know, maybe I can catch a 30-point game from him or something. But based on the highlights, I'm looking at someone that can just create and initiate offense for themselves, and that's real valuable. Like, that's all Pistons fans wanted, was someone that can create their own bucket, create their own offense, dance with the defense, have a little wiggle, doesn't just go north and south when he drives, can go east and west. Is pretty much, on paper, looks like the complete offensive package. He's a rookie, so there will be a learning curve, but this is what Pistons fans wanted. And another point I want to touch on, it blows my mind how many people are complaining about it. Like, it blows my mind how many people are complaining about this kid before we even see him play. Like, on paper, he's everything that you want. Give him a minute. Let's let him get some real professional action before we write him off. Please, for the love of God, please. That's just all I want. You asked me a question, and I wrote this down, and we'll end with this. But I never heard your thoughts. Paul Reed or Bobby Portis?
Oh, my God. Bobby Portis. I think Bobby Portis would bring more to the team. Everyone loves Paul Reed, but because yes, we did this the other night, and I think Bobby Portis is, with him being more of a threat as a 3-point shooter. Yes, Paul gives you a lot more energy, but so does Bobby. Bobby's also an energy guy. And then two, it's like if you were to have so Stewart's gone. See you later, dude. Like he's now no longer on this team. You bring in a Bobby Portis, he is somewhat of an enforcer. He gets in your head. He plays tough defense. Like that's kind of Bobby Portis. I could see Bobby Portis in a Pistons uniform, and I could see him being very successful. I think part of the reason too that Stewart got shipped is how well Paul Reed played in the playoffs. If Paul Reed would have not have done what he did in the playoffs, I don't think we're sitting with the same situation today.
No, I don't think so either. I think Isaiah Stewart would be very much a Piston if Paul Reed didn't give them the confidence to trade him. It was all the trade happened all because of Paul Reed. Dude, I'm looking at his per 36 numbers. I like looking at per 36 and per 100 possessions on Basketball Reference. Like, dude, so in the per 100 possessions, his one in every year from 2020, his rookie year, to 2025-26, his final season right now. In every year, if you look at per 100 possessions, he fouls out of every game. He averages 8 fouls, 9 fouls, 8 fouls, 6, 8, and 6. Like, if you do it by per 100, like he averages incredible numbers per 100 possessions. It's pretty fun to look at. But he would foul. They just part of me bringing this up and looking at these numbers is just like he's not. If we're projecting him to be the level of defender that Isaiah Stewart is, he's definitely not. He can't fill that void. He's a better defender than Duren, in my opinion, but he's still a little questionable on that end.
No, I love Bobby Portis. I absolutely love Bobby Portis, and I would take him on this team any day of the week. Like, so, and then because we're ending this soon, I'm just gonna tell all Pistons fan, just watch the podcast you watch, listen to everyone's takes, but just take a deep breath and let them figure out how they're gonna do this. Mm-hmm. Like, let it come to fruition. Don't hate if it's Norman, if it's Powell, if we trade for Trey Murphy. If it's LeBron James, give it a second. Don't jump to any type of conclusion already. Like, this is a 60-win, first place Eastern Conference team with your best player being a first-team All-NBA player. Okay? Take a deep breath. Let them figure out the pieces that they're going to bring into this organization, and we watch the games. You're not a GM. I'm not a GM. Lance is not a GM. We'll let it come to, and then when they do make these trades and something does happen, and say it's a Norman Powell tomorrow, say if it's a LeBron James, I'm sure that once that news breaks, we will make another episode, and then we will hash it all out and we'll talk about it. But just take a deep breath and let them figure it out. And then if we get into spring ball and they didn't do anything, then be fucking pissed. Then you can be pissed. Then I'll let you be upset. But until then, let everything transpire through free agency.
It would be funny, though, if the only move they made was trade Paul Reed for 3 second-round picks.
Stewart.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, my bad. Isaiah Stewart.
That's it?
Yeah, that would just be hilarious. That's the only move they make in the offseason is, we're going to trade Isaiah Stewart.
Then fucking throw rocks at the glass house. I don't even care.
Dude, we petitioned to bring the Portland Trailblazers to Kalamazoo. That's what we petitioned to do.
And if they do it, you know who's going to have season tickets? These guys. These guys.
Yeah. Good. All right. Thanks for listening to the 3 Championship Drive podcast. Do us a favor, subscribe, follow, rate, review, but more importantly, tell a Pistons fan.